if you're familiar with my channel, you'll be familiar with Dr. Martens. I've covered the brand pretty heavily over the life of my channel, mainly covering the For Life range. These boots have just reached the end of their life. The soles are failing or worn smooth, so they'll be going back. Now, in my last video on Dr. Martens, I reported that the For Life range, or the For Life offer, is being ceased. That doesn't mean they're not going to honour it for existing owners, but there won't be any new For Life boots made. It's being replaced by Hard Life boots. Hard Life being the name of the more supple, oily leather that they use. So I'm very much expecting more of the same, very similar boots. And that's kind of a good thing. They break in really easily, they're really nice. But as I say, those boots have come to the end of their life. I contacted Dr. Martens to exchange them, and they're already out of stock on the For Life boots. So anyone who's getting replacements, or certainly replacements in size 8, will have a choice. You can either wait for the Hard Life to be launched, which I'm not quite sure how long that's going to be, but a little while I think, or you can pick another boot from the Dr. Martens range and still enjoy the warranty next time you come to replacement. So that gave me an interesting opportunity, gave me the opportunity to try something different, bring something new to the channel again, and that's great for me. The one thing they wouldn't do is any collaboration boot or any made in England boot. So I went for the original 146 smooth. So if you see a pair of Dr. Martens, or if someone asks you to describe a pair of Dr. Martens, I think this would be it. So let's pop them out of the box. As I say, this is from their standard range. These are £130 retail. You don't pay the premium you would for the For Life. So, as you can see, I opted for a pair of black. I'd started out my For Life journey with brown. They discontinued that. I went black, and then ultimately I went to the Oxblood. But really, day to day, the boots which I'll wear most and get the most life out of are indeed black boots. So I think we've talked enough about the For Life guarantee. A lot of you will be here simply because you're thinking about buying these boots. As I say, RRP £130, no particular replacement guarantee, just a normal sort of product warranties you expect against defects. And these are very, very similar to the Made in England boots I reviewed. The traditional shiny, stiff, almost plasticky leather that you come to expect from Dr. Martens, and I guess the leather that they built their fame on, so it can't be a bad thing. Yellow stitching throughout, obviously. So in terms of the leather, they describe this as their original signature leather. A firm finished leather with a smooth, semi-bright appearance. So it does have that sheen, but it's not a patent, polished sheen. I guess it's open to debate whether this is truly their signature leather or not. Obviously, over the years, the manufacturer of Dr. Martens have moved away from the UK, and these are actually made in China. So whether that leather is historically accurate or not, certainly what they use for the Made in England boots is what they call their Quillian Leather, which is described as a thick, full-grained leather. Still got that nice sheen, still got that sort of stiff feel, but it is a different leather. Equally, on the Made in England, you don't get that little finishing trim around the top there. It's raw, and generally a rawer feel on the leather altogether, but nice nonetheless. So, for these boots, these are what you'd call the classic Dr. Martens. Little hang tag there. and inside it describes the smooth leather. If there's one leather that epitomises Dr. Martens footwear, it's our classic smooth leather. Durable and famously stiff to start with, it moulds to your feet and gets more comfortable with wear. Smooth leather can be polished to a dapper shine or artfully scuffed up, depending on your preference. So this is, as I say, the iconic boot, the boot you'd draw if someone asked you to sketch a boot from Dr. Martens. The fit and finish, the quality seems good. Good quality stitching throughout. Single stitch on the heel cap there, triple stitch on the sides. Bellows tongue, so that offers a little bit of water resistance, so you're not going to get water in your boots unless you're up to your ankles. The laces, always a bugbear of mine with the For Life ones. The laces were awful on those. They always broke after 3-4 months. These are actually a synthetic lace, it feels like, not dissimilar to paracord actually, so I'm expecting a fairly robust performance from that. Eyelet stitching, piping around the top there, obviously the famous tab on the back, and then really we're around to the welted sole. So obviously a welted sole isn't just glued on, it's stitched on as well, which is a great construction. For most boots, welted soles are basically they could be resoled with ease. Now, Dr. Martens, over the years, I've had comments posted about whether they can be resoled or not, how that happens or how it doesn't. Now, my understanding is absolutely yes, Dr. Martens can be resoled back to factory spec. I don't think it's a rebuild as such. I think it's actually a cut and a heat weld, a new sort of sole plate onto there. But something I'd like to try at some point. Resoling, I think, is ethically quite a good thing. Often the upper isn't what fails on boots. It's typically the sole for me that wears through. I walk in boots a lot. Average boot would last me about 12 months before the sole is actually deteriorating significantly. So, if I can get some more life out of the boot without using all the resources to rebuild the top, just resole it, that's a pretty good thing for me. So the sole there, the famous bouncing sole, the airwear, so little pockets of air in there, which genuinely does give a nice bounce. That bounce does deteriorate, I think probably after about 3 months of good hard wear. I generally start feeling that Dr. Martens boots have lost that spring, but they are still a nice padded experience. They're not hard on the foot at all. Sole print there, or the tread rather, I always find should be deeper. I'll wear that smooth after about 6 months, after about 12 months, and certainly the heels I tend to wear to an angle there, and a bit more tread on there would really, really help. Now, looking at the sole compound here, it might just be age in terms of my For Life boots here, but it seems much more transparent, much more gummy actually. So I'm wondering whether it's actually going to wear as hard as these did, or whether it's actually a softer compound which won't last as long. So we'll pick that up in a subsequent video. Another thing I'm really interested in with these boots, and we'll share with you in due course, is the break-in experience. So these, like the Made in England boots, have a narrower last than I found on the For Life boots. I've got a reasonably wide foot. Interestingly, I think the English are famous for their slightly wide feet, but I will need to break this in. The For Life I never did. It was a soft, supple leather and a slightly wider last to my assessment. So let's see how those break in. I'll post a video in a few weeks' time. I'll try and wear these daily for work, so we'll soon see how they're going to perform. And so really, the things I want to see about these boots is how the leather performs over time, and how the soles wear. I think that's pretty much covered the boots. One thing to note is it's got a nice little insole inside. Not particularly padded, but something going on in there. So, I think we'll pop in for a few close-ups. We'll pop them on.
For a few close-ups here. Obviously, you've got the nice yellow stitching with a welt, the airwear sole with the individual sort of air cells in there. These are quite nice, gummy, bouncy soles actually. We'll see how they wear. Obviously the tread pattern, relatively shallow. We'll see how that fares. Their classic shiny, smooth leather there. Stitching. Tab. Piping around the edge and inside. Got a little insole. Obviously a bellows to the tongue there.
Well, that brings us to the end of the video. I think the only thing I didn't mention earlier on is about boot care. Now, I've always used the Doc Martens product for their boots, the Wonder Balsam, and it is a really nice product actually. It's, you know, I've been wearing Doc Marten boots for pretty consistently over the last 6 years. So I got my first pair for life back in 2012, and you can see I've still got a fair bit of this left. So quite a good little product to keep them waterproof, keep them looking reasonably good. I am interested to see how that works on this leather, because this leather is actually, as I say, quite a finished leather, almost plasticky to the touch. So I'm wondering how well that's actually going to soak in, or whether a black polish is really what you need on these. But their website says to use this, so that's what I will try. Yeah, so if you haven't seen my channel before and you're interested in boots, please check it out. Also, really interested in quality denim, everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, cycling, guitar. So check out the channel. We might share some other common interests. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Obviously, as I say, these will be reviewed through their life. The first follow-up video will be breaking in, because I think that's probably going to be an interesting experience on these. And then obviously maybe a review at 6 months and 12 months, see how they're faring. Okay, well that's the end of the video. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.